let's jump right into this explainer. I want you to treat today's breakdown as a career masterclass. If you're a focused learner trying to navigate a massive career pivot, or maybe you're dreaming of building your own organization from the ground up, you're in exactly the right spot. We're going to pull some incredibly potent leadership lessons straight from one of the most significant founder journeys in modern tech. So here's the ultimate founder's dilemma, right? When is the exact right time to just walk away from a powerful institution to build your own vision? To answer that, we're using Dario Amodei's departure from OpenAI as our prime case study. His journey is literally a step-by-step masterclass on how to spot when your environment is no longer serving your mission and exactly what you need to do about it. Okay, let's dive right into the playbook. We're going to hit 4 main areas today based on his actual trajectory: knowing when to pivot, establishing your core convictions, what to do when values misalign, and finally, forging your own path. Starting off with knowing when to pivot and finding the right vehicle for your goals. Now, to really get Amodei's mindset as a founder, you have to look at his early career. He actually started out in biology. He had his PhD in biophysics, wanted to cure disease, the whole 9 yards. But, well, he hit a massive brick wall. Biology is this incredibly tangled web of complexity. You've got RNA splicing differently, totally unpredictable post-translational modifications, proteins tangling with other proteins. He actually reached a point of genuine despair, realizing it was just too complicated for humans to cleanly map out. But then, fast forward to about 15 years ago, he sees early work on neural networks, like AlexNet. And AI just offered this completely different paradigm. It was a system that could actually scale cleanly and, theoretically learn to do tasks like biology. The leadership lesson here is absolutely profound. You have to find a system that scales better to solve your ultimate problems. Look, sometimes your current field or the toolset you're using is just a dead end for what you actually want to achieve. Amodei realized that AI might actually be the ultimate vehicle to solve the very biology problems he was despairing over. True leadership means recognizing that better vehicle when you see it and having the sheer courage to switch lanes entirely to master it. And looking at how this built out over time, I really want to reassure any young founders out there that these major pivots usually happen across calculated stepping stones. He didn't just wake up, leave a biology lab, and start Anthropic. It was a progression. He transitioned by working with Andrew Ng, then did a year at Google, joined OpenAI just months after it started, led research there for several years, and then founded Anthropic. He built technical and leadership capital at every single step. Moving on to establishing your core convictions. This is all about identifying what you truly believe down to your bones. So during his time leading research at OpenAI, Amodei developed 2 unshakable convictions that basically became the DNA of his future vision. Pillar 1 was a hard technical reality, the scaling laws, the idea that if you simply feed models more data and more compute, you get these incredible, predictable performance leaps. Pillar 2 was the absolute mandate of safety. He knew that if these models became as powerful as he suspected, taking safety and responsibility seriously wasn't just a nice-to-have, it had to be at the core. 2019 is the really vital year here. That's when Amodei saw the first real, undeniable glimmers of these scaling laws actually working with GPT-2. It proved his first conviction. And as a founder, you have to remember, there was massive doubt at this time, both inside and outside his organization. People were skeptical, but he had the data. He had the conviction, and he and his team made the hard case to leadership that this was going to be an absolutely massive deal. Now, the stakes for that second conviction, safety, were entirely unprecedented. Amodei realized we weren't just building neat tools. These models were going to become general cognitive agents. We're talking about systems that could eventually match the capability of the human brain. Because of that, safety is mandatory. The economic implications? Enormous. Geopolitical implications? Massive. Physical safety? You guessed it. When your product is going to alter global foundations, getting it right is simply non-negotiable. Which brings us to navigating institutional friction, specifically what happens when values misalign. This is the absolute crucible moment of his career. What do you do when your organization completely buys into one of your core convictions, but essentially drops the ball on the other? With the first pillar, the scaling laws, OpenAI leadership bought in, they started heading in that exact direction. But the friction hit hard with the safety mandate. Amodei noticed that while the institution was using a lot of the right language, offering the right verbiage about doing things safely, he wasn't actually convinced there was a serious, deep-seated commitment to follow through on those mandates. I want to pause here for a direct mentor lesson. Seriously, write this down. Watch out for verbiage disguised as serious conviction. As an aspiring founder or a young leader working inside a bigger machine, you have to learn to spot the difference between corporate lip service and actual institutional commitment to your values. If leadership is feeding you all the right vocabulary, but their actions show zero fundamental conviction, you've got a massive structural problem on your hands. And that leads us to our final section, forging your own path and taking true ownership of your vision. This right here is probably the most important lesson of this entire explainer. When your personal values fundamentally misalign with your employer, you have to take decisive action. Let this quote from Amodei sink in. Don't argue with someone else's vision. Don't try to get someone to do things the way you want to. If you have a strong vision and you share that vision with a few other people, you should just go off and do your own thing. That is your absolute definitive rule for starting fresh. Please, do not waste your best years fighting unwinnable institutional battles, trying to hijack someone else's company. If you see the future clearly, go build it yourself. There is this profound, incredible liberation in that philosophy. Amodei explains that by leaving to build his own thing, he became responsible only for his own mistakes. Think about that. He no longer had to answer for anyone else's vision or defend someone else's missteps. When you're the founder, yes, the weight is incredibly heavy, but the autonomy is absolute. You are steering the ship based purely on your own uncompromising convictions. And honestly, that is the true definition of Anthropic in this context. It's not just another highly valued tech startup. It is the physical materialization of refusing to compromise. Amodei and a few colleagues who shared this exact dual-pillar vision for AI, and specifically what a company should stand for when it comes to safety, they just stepped out into the unknown together. I absolutely love this takeaway because it perfectly captures the ultimate risk and reward of entrepreneurship. Like Amodei says, when you go out on your own, maybe your vision works out, maybe it doesn't, but at least it's yours. He accepted that ultimate risk because the reward wasn't just financial. The real reward was doing the work exactly the way he knew it needed to be done, without ever compromising on the safety stakes that are literally going to impact the entire world. So as we wrap up this playbook, I want to turn the focus directly back to you. Take a hard look at your current career trajectory. Look at the institutions you're serving right now. Are they just offering you comfortable verbiage, or do they actually share your deepest convictions? If they don't, I'm leaving you with this vital question for your own leadership journey. What vision are you willing to take full responsibility for? Thanks for hanging out with me to break down this incredible founder's playbook, and I highly encourage you to keep exploring these crucial leadership dynamics.